Live American music in support of homegrown food.
Welcome to Farm Aid, the concert for America. I can't wait to get on the road again.
Catch Willie Nelson and Family, Neil Young, John Mellencamp, Dave Matthews, Bobby Weir, and more. Live from Noblesville, Indiana. It's Farm Aid 2023, all day Saturday at Willie's Roadhouse, Dave Matthews Band Radio, and the Grateful Dead channel.
Get the SiriusXM app and listen on your phone when you get out of the car. Anywhere you take your phone, you can take Howard Stern, NFL Radio, and commercial-free music channels from nearly every genre. You never have to miss your favorite SiriusXM programs or commercial-free music. Find the SiriusXM app in the App Store or call 844-711-8800 or visit SiriusXM.com/app to find out more.
Team Coco.
Radio legend Conan O'Brien here. I've often been told that I have a face for radio. Well, guess what? SiriusXM thought so too. Tune in to Team Coco Radio, Channel 106. Everything that you kind of liked about what I did on television, on radio. Conan O'Brien, Team Coco Radio.
To hear Team Coco Radio, activate your radio by calling 844-711-8800 or visiting SiriusXM.com/go.
There you go now.
I think every...
Oh, let's see. You gotta get
Amazing moments happen so much at SiriusXM, we want you to see them. SiriusXM Video lets you watch some of your favorite SiriusXM shows on the SXM app. Groundbreaking interviews, amazing in-show moments, behind-the-scenes footage, live performances, all come to life in a way you only imagined before. Plus, you can create your own personalized Pandora station based on the artists you love. And hear over 100 extra channels filled with ad-free music for every mood or occasion. Get your first 6 months of our Platinum plan for only $8.33 per month, plus fees and taxes. Just call 844-711-8800 to take advantage of this amazing offer.
Christopher Russo here, and on SiriusXM Mad Dog Sports Radio, we give you NFL talk with a bite to it. First off, it's our Monday morning quarterback, Adam Shine, at 9 Eastern. He breaks down the biggest storylines and clues you in on the things you did not see but need to know. And then on Mad Dog Unleashed, we've got a Super Bowl MVP. Bill Sims joins me Fridays at 4:30 to preview all the games on Sims and the Mad Dog, top to bottom. Join us all week long on Mad Dog Sports Radio, Channel 82, and the SiriusXM app.
Weeks away from a new basketball season, and SiriusXM NBA Radio is your home for all the action. Don't miss a moment on Channel 86 and the SiriusXM app.
Don't waste valuable time managing playlists, downloading, or sifting through commercials when you could be zoning out, rocking out, or just kicking back to the music you love. Visit SiriusXM.com/go to quickly sign up online and activate your radio. SiriusXM offers commercial-free music from nearly every genre at the touch of a button. Select your favorite channels, set your presets, and let SiriusXM's music experts handle the rest. Subscribe now and activate your radio. Visit SiriusXM.com/go to sign up online quickly or call 844-711-8800 now.
Amazing moments happen so much at SiriusXM, we want you to see them. SiriusXM Video lets you watch some of your favorite SiriusXM shows on the SXM app. Groundbreaking interviews, amazing in-show moments, behind-the-scenes footage, live performances, all come to life in a way you only imagined before. Plus, you can create your own personalized Pandora station based on the artists you love. And hear over 100 extra channels filled with ad-free music for every mood or occasion. Get your first 6 months of our Platinum plan for only $8.33 per month, plus fees and taxes. Just call 844-711-8800 to take advantage of this amazing offer.
Discover Música Mexicana for a new generation on Mex YZ. And the Latin side of hip-hop on Flow Nacion. Plus, more Latin music channels across SiriusXM throughout this Hispanic Heritage Month and all year round in the SiriusXM app.
SiriusXM Business Radio. Your business, your money, your life.
Marketing, expanding, and branding.
SiriusXM Business Radio.
SiriusXM Business Radio.
Your business, your money, your life.
Entrepreneurs, CEOs, and investors.
SiriusXM Business Radio.
To hear Business Radio, activate your radio now. Call 844-711-8800 or go to SiriusXM.com/go to sign up quickly.
And stream anywhere with 2 app logins. Enjoy our greatest content, opportunities for live VIP experiences, and prioritized customer care. Plus, get access to over 5,000 audio and video concert recordings through nugs.net. Call 844-711-8800 and become a VIP. Offer details apply. Not available in Canada.
Moss, we're bringing you the next generation of I Am Athlete to Fashion Talk with Paper Route.
We unravel sports, culture, music, and everything in between. Plus, appearances from the I Am Athlete family like Deshaun Jackson, Steven Jackson, and special guests like Paul Pierce and Shaq, and anybody in hip-hop and sports.
I Am Athlete presents Paper Route.
Unscripted and unfiltered.
Weeknights at 7 Eastern on Fashion Talk, Channel 104.
Rondo Deportes, bonjour, vidi vidi vici, let's get ready to rumble. Welcome to the show. My name is Jonathan of Big C Sports. This is Big C Sports coming to you worldwide on the Big C Sports Network, on the #1 network in the United States of America. And Big C Sports has been voted the #1 sports show in the universe, according to me, the people who run the universe. And that would include you too, if that makes sense to you. What a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day in the neighborhood. Want to be my neighbor? Shut up! People don't like when I try to bring the neighborhood together when it's 2 o'clock in the morning. I gotta reset my watch, but you don't have to reset your watch 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You can follow Big C Sports Podcast. I tell you, today is actually September 20th. That means we're almost out of what they call summer. We're going into the fall where you can get your cold on. Get your cold on, if that makes sense to you. Get that some breeze. Actually, I want to say get your cold clothing on. Get your cold on. But it's all fair level word. You can follow Big C Sports Podcast, 28 podcast applications all over the universe. Google, Alexa, Spotify, Apple Podcast, Spreaker Podcast, iHeartRadio Podcast, Castbox Podcast, Deezer Podcast, Podcast Addict, Podchaser, Amazon Podcast, the Good Pods Podcast. You can also follow Big C Sports Podcast on Geo Savant out of London, England, as well as India and Africa. Podtail, YouTube, Hubhopper, Twitter Podcast, Radio Line, Repod Podcast, Luminary Podcast, Listen Notes, Podcast Watch, Podmade, Photo Podcast, Podcast Prodigy, Podcast Republic. I'm telling you, there's only one that used to scare me. And now I don't think it scares me anymore, but I'm trying to get rid of all of these robots. I saw something where there were robots. I don't know if it's in my dream or if I saw it on TV, but I know I saw some robots, and sometimes robots can be scary, like the ones in Star Wars, R2-D2. Your little robot running around, he's about 2 feet tall, but he had a round head. Be careful of people with round heads, if that makes sense to you. I'm not discriminating against anybody. Everybody has a different head shape, if that makes sense to you. But it's called allfeast.ai. That means the robots are trying to take over, but I have a way to turn them off. You want to know what the solution is? It's called the Teddy Pendergrass app. It says, turn off the lights, and light a candle. You see, I'm in a romantic mood, yeah. He said, turn off the lights, like Synesty computers, and come to me. You see, there's something I've been wanting to do to you, baby. Turn them off. And when Teddy said, turn them off. I think it's on the desk of California Governor Gavin Newsom, where there are some good old boys trying to pass a bill that says 18-wheel truckers do not need a human being inside driving down dim dirt hills and dim dirt highways. I would say, in my opinion, I would rather have a person, a human being, in that 18-wheel truck going 60 miles per hour in dim dirt hills. So if something goes wrong with the computer, and who hasn't had at some point in life to replace a computer? Who Who hasn't had at some point in time to replace a cell phone? So we know sometimes they go bad, don't they? Sometimes you got to go get it repaired. Well, let's have a human in those trucks going down the road and dim their heels and give that some praise, just in case the truck becomes like your cell phone when you got to replace it, in case the truck becomes like your computer and you got to replace it. They say put so much faith in these computerized trucks, and they're trying to get rid of people. No, I want to say give people some praise. It's good to have people. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. I know some people that think because their car has cruise control that you don't need a person holding the wheel. And that would be a huge mistake. You still got to have a person behind the wheel. I know you want to save money, corporate America, but putting people out of work so the computers can take over, it doesn't make any sense. I was in the bank again today, and they treat me really nice. They actually called me Mr. Curry. They said, Mr. Curry, how can we help you? I said, well, first, let me give you my ID. Oh, we don't need your ID. We know who you are. No, let me give you ID in case they didn't clone Tyrone. They have this stuff called Chat GPT, and they can clone voices now. And you know they say all brothers look alike. They say that for other people too. But I've heard growing up, all you brothers look alike. And then I'm going to the bank in Dimdale Hills, California, and they say, we don't need your ID, Mr. Curry. We know who you are. I don't like that. I give them my ID anyway. I say, let me give you my ID in case somebody found my wallet outside, and you say we know who you are. No, give showing the ID some praise. Never let the banks tell you, oh, we know who you are. We don't need your ID. Yes, you do. You do need my ID, if that makes sense to you. Make sure they give you the ID. It might be a robot showing up saying they didn't clone Tyrone. We don't need your ID. Yes, you do. I tell you, I always produce the show. I direct the topics. I broadcast all the shows. I do all the sound effects based on the platform provided by the agency. We can all use more laughter in our lives. And then the commercials are done. I'm telling you, I'm the only sports show in the universe that does all of my commercials pre-roll. I don't pause in the middle unless I have a guest on. And most 1-hour shows, they do a commercial every 15 minutes. And so they'll have maybe 4 pauses, and they'll run 3 or 4 spots. I'm the only sports show in the universe. I just keep going and going and going and going. And give that some praise. And then there's Captain about it. There's storytelling. I even do the play-by-play, which I will try to get in today. Runners on first and third. That counts for the pitch. Curveball. Swung on. Hit deep. Right field. Back to the wall. Home run. Say hello to my little friends. They say the girls love the long ball and men love to hit deep. If that makes sense to you, everybody loves hitting a home run, especially when it's not a foul ball. That makes sense to you. And then the show is uploaded to 28 multiple podcast platforms out of New York City. And I'm in Dimdale Hills, California. I love doing what I got to do with my platforms. And then I tell you, I never missed a show since creating Big C Sports with the crew back at Salem Media in Dimdale Hills, California. I love what I'm doing with Big C Sports. And you got to give that some praise. One beautiful, intelligent black man. And oh, they didn't clone Tyrone. I know I saw a guy that looked just like me the other day. I mean, he looked just like me. I'm telling you. You know, I got out of the shower and the mirror was all fogged and the brother looked just like me. It kind of scared me at first. I said, whoa! The guy had all these muscles. I said, well, it looked like what I used to look like. I want to say, in case you look like what you used to look like, I want to make sure we give out our Veterans Crisis Hotline. They really are experienced, helping veterans and their loved ones get help. You know anybody going through issues? It could be the person in the mirror. Like when I saw they didn't clone Big C. I got out of the shower and I looked in the mirror. The brother looked just like me. He had more muscles, of course. Or maybe it was in my dream. But I'm going to get back that 6-pack and give that some praise. Don't laugh. It's the truth. Give getting back that 6-pack some praise. I'm going to get it back. It's coming around the mountain, if that makes sense to you. That's my Christmas present. $6 billion and a 6-pack. Come on, God. You can make it come true. I want to tell you, I think I said it better across the hotline, 800-273-8255. That's 800-273-8255. Or you can text 838-255. That's 255. If you're online, simply go to veteranscrisisline.net. That's veteranscrisisline.net. And when you do, you want to give us some praise because we all need somebody to lean on. I also want to say thank you to Xfinity, Comcast TV, and Comcast Spotlight Effect TV for presenting Big C Sports to the universe. Just like in Genesis 1:3, where God said, reparations now, reparations forever. And then he said, let there be light. That's the book that I read, if that makes sense to you. I'm going to get into some things about the sports world that I love, but I got to touch on reparations because I'm the only one in the universe that talks about it. That's a sports show. Even though when it's time to get paid, people will be in line, like getting in line for cheese. There was a book called Who Moved My Cheese? I think it was Spencer. I can't remember the whole name. I think it was Spencer. But Who Moved My Cheese is about, it had 4 mice in there. One was hurrying and scurrying, him and haw. And sometimes people like to hem and haw if they ask you what you want to do. Or they start hemming and hawing. And then others, they say what you want to do. They start hurrying and scurrying. Or I'll call currying. No pun intended. Oh, Curry, there you go again with your jokes. I'm just trying to be flippant if that makes sense to you. If you don't know what flippant means, you can Google it. For you sarcastic people. But for you sarcasm, you Google. I have a quiz today. Pick up your cell phones and just, you got 3 seconds. 1, 2, 3. Google Survivor Today Act of 2017. I got some stuff that you don't want to miss. Google Survivor Today Act of 2017. You ready? Read. It says the Justice for Uncompensated Survivors Today Act of 2017 is United States legislation that requires the State Department to report to Congress on steps that 47 countries in Europe have taken to compensate Holocaust survivors and their heirs for assets seized by Nazi Germany and post-war communist governments, and we give them praise. Now, you know I'm going to get into the California Reparations Task Force, but before I even do that, you would have to be so out of touch to know what's going on. You can Google this name too. Everything I say on Big C Sports, you can Google it. I don't shuck and jive. I don't make stuff up. There's a press release for April 18th, 2023. It says you gotta pay attention. It's so important as we push for reparations. I mean, just listen to this. United States Senator Marco Rubio, Republican of Florida. Jackie Rosen, Democrat, Nevada. Kevin Cramer, Republican, North Dakota. And Rick Scott, Republican, Florida. There are countless Holocaust survivors and their descendants have been unable to recover their unpaid pre-Holocaust insurance policies. Oh, we don't need no reparations for descendants of chattel slavery? I just told you, you can Google it. United States Senators Marco Rubio, Republican of Florida, Jack Rosen, Democrat, Nevada, Kevin Cramer, Republican, North Dakota, and Rick Scott, Republican, Florida. They reintroduced. You ever reintroduce somebody? They reintroduced the Holocaust Insurance Accountability Act. The legislation would allow beneficiaries of Holocaust-era... Curry, just tell me the score! I'm trying to tell you the score right now. The legislation would allow beneficiaries of Holocaust-era insurance policies to bring civil action in United States district courts against the insurers for the covered policy to recover proceeds that were due or otherwise enforce any rights under the policy. Senator Rubio's first introduced the bill with then Senator Bill Nelson, Democrat of Florida, in 2011. And now we're still having meetings on how to pay reparations to descendants of chattel slavery. You got to give some praise when Big C Sports is talking, because I'm not shucking and jiving. I'm talking about what United States senators are doing. And they got most of us as black Americans or descendants of chattel slavery focused on, oh, what's Deion Sanders going to do? Is he going to return Colorado to prominence? And you got these senators, they're championing to make sure that our Holocaust heirs are paid. I'm going to tell you what happened in San Francisco yesterday. And it stays The Holocaust remains one of humanity's darkest hours, leaving a permanent stain on history for all nations. And United States Congress must continue to do everything that it can to ensure the unresolved issue of Holocaust-era property restitution. Oh, we don't believe in no reparations for black Americans. They're going to do everything. Everything! You ever eat everything off a plate and the food is so good, you start licking the plate? Everything it can to ensure the unresolved issues of Holocaust-era property restitution that is finally realized. While black Americans are still having, we're still having meetings. In Congress! Oh, there you go again, Big C, talking about Congress. They're making sure they're doing everything. Everything! You ever eat everything off a plate? To ensure the unresolved issue of Holocaust-era property restitution. It's finally realized. It is unthinkable that a large number of Holocaust-era insurance claims remain unpaid. It is far past time that survivors and their families retrieve what they are rightfully owed. You ever been rightfully owed something? The Emancipation Proclamation? Now, I just told you, they're anti-reparation people, especially those of you in media. I just told you what Senator Marco Rubio is doing with the United States Congress. Also, United States Senator Jack Rosen, a Democrat in Nevada. United States Senator Kevin Cramer, Republican North Dakota. And Senator Rick Scott, Republican Florida. They're doing what Big C's doing. Now, what if we could get those same gentlemen to champion reparations now? Reparations forever! See, I've taken a lot of arrows by some people that say, Charlie, why don't you just stick to the sports, man? And you got these United States senators that I just told you. You can Google it. April 18th, 2023. And we still having task force meetings for black Americans, descendants of child of slavery. You got these congressmen making sure our Jewish brethren get paid. They don't call them Jewish, they call them descendants of Holocaust. And so I'm asking them to champion that we have descendants of child of slavery to also get our reparations. And when I say what I mean, and I mean what I say, you can't refute what I'm saying. When I tell you reparations now, reparations forever. Because I just told you what they're doing. Right as we're standing in line, they give you 1 minute to speak at the Reparations Task Force meeting in San Francisco. But you know who was not at the Reparations Task Force meeting in San Francisco? Just yesterday? United States Senator Marco Rubio, Republican Florida. Jackie Rosen, Democrat Nevada. Kevin Cramer, Republican North Dakota. And Rick Scott, Republican Florida. They're already in Congress, making sure that Congress makes sure that our Holocaust-era survivors, that they get paid. And we give that praise. What's the difference with black Americans? You gotta be the dumbest person in the universe to not see that Congress is already making sure that reparations get paid. Give them some praise. Now, it reminds me of so many other things where black Americans will tell you gotta wait. They're treating black Americans the same way the GI Bill treated black Americans. Because of Jim Crow era laws, they could not get the GI Bill. Only white people could. Like the Marshall Plan that rebuilt Europe after the war, they didn't rebuild the United States for black Americans. They were burning down Black Wall Streets as they were rebuilding Europe. And the same thing's happening now when I hear that we have these great people that you get to hear about when they're stomping around for votes. And as black Americans are standing in line in San Francisco, they're making sure that Congress right now makes sure that the heirs of Holocaust survivors get reparations now. And some people say, oh, there you go again, Jerry, talking about reparations now. And so is Senator Marco Rubio. You would have to be dumb not to even Google that. It's important. Why are we being treated different as descendants of child slavery? You got to think about it. There's countless Holocaust survivors and their descendants have been unable to recover their unpaid pre-Holocaust insurance policies. What were the insurance policies for the descendants of chattel slavery? You know, Lloyd's of London insured the slave ships. Lloyd's of London. You know, Prince Harry, those people. Oh, he wasn't around then. He's around now. Can Prince Harry get on board? What Marco Rubio's doing? Senator Marco Rubio, Senator Jackie Rosen, Senator Kevin Kramer, and Senator Rick Scott. Can we get our good old brothers and sisters in England who had the slave ships insured for chattel slavery? They didn't insure the slaves. They insured the slave ships. And when a slave life was lost, they had insurance on many of those slaves. The slaves couldn't benefit from it, though, only the owners. And I'm just telling you something that happened in 2023. I feel so vindicated. Give vindication some praise! I feel vindicated because I know a lot of people that I thought were intelligent and erudite, but they're just dumb as a rock. And they try to argue, oh, Curry, you can't explain why reparations should happen for descendants of chattel slavery. And I just told you what they're doing right now with the United States Congress for Holocaust insurance policies to be paid to descendants of Holocaust. And black Americans give them praise. They're asking for the same thing. You'd have to be so dumb not to see that two different groups are being treated so differently by the United States Congress. You got to see it. And so what I say, you can Google it. I just told you that. I know you want to know who won the game, but that's part of our problem. Most of us have been hoodwinked into caring who won a game. San Francisco supervisors, listen to the word they used. I wonder where they heard it before. San Francisco supervisors, they praise. Give us some praise. This article came out of the Bay Area by Aldo Toledo. San Francisco supervisors praise. They give it praise. They praise reparations plans. Where do you hear the word praise all the time? On Big C Sports. Oh, there you go again, Big C. You didn't invent the word praise. But I'm saying, where do you hear it? And now San Francisco supervisors, they praise reparations and the plan. But some people say cash payments are unlikely without the Mayor London Breed's support. As Marco Rubio is in Congress making sure that descendants of Holocaust are getting their insurance payments and their pensions, San Francisco Board of Supervisors voiced strong support Tuesday for a final set of recommendations to provide reparations to the city's black community. But Mayor London Breed continues to maintain that cash payments should be dealt with at the federal level and is not committed to funding an office to start the reparations process. I just told you Senator Marco Rubio, he's in Congress right now making sure descendants of Holocaust, they get their payments. So what's the difference? Why are black Americans being treated differently, or descendants of chattel slavery being treated differently? Executive Order 13985 that President Biden signed, that was his first order in office. Where's our money? Where's our money? You got these senators making sure that descendants of Holocaust are getting their money as we speak and hold lines and reparations. And so in June, a group of what they call black leaders tasked with building a roadmap for reparations came up with a sprawling 400-page document containing 115 recommendations. Why not just talk to Senator Marco Rubio and say, what are we doing for our descendants of Holocaust? They already got the roadmap. Talk to people who are doing it. Not just standing in line giving people 1 minute to speak. This is so important. Black San Franciscans, payments eligible up to $5 million. They advocate for that. Also investments in housing, education, and black entrepreneurship. Ending the school to prison pipeline and the regrowing city's declining black population. It's so important that we stop trying to figure out where the yellow brick road is. Because I told you at the start of this show, even for those of you who just want to know, touchdown, home run, three-point play, oh man Willie, he's going all the way. Reparations have already happened in every breath you take. Take a breath. Now breathe out. Congress, while you took that breath, do it one more time. Breathe in. Breathe out. You know, Congress is already working with senators around the country to make sure that Holocaust descendants get their reparations through insurance policies. Why not for black Americans, descendants of child of slavery? For anyone that says, oh, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going up. They said nothing about your taxpayer dollars when it comes to Holocaust heirs. And so they've been hoodwinking when it comes to descendants of child of slavery. And they paid out billions of dollars. What if black Americans have been receiving billions of dollars? Hitler was only in power from 1933 to 1945. Slavery happened from 1619 to 1865. Far longer. Far more people died through the Middle Passage and through slavery than Holocaust. And black Americans support our Jewish brethren. They deserve reparations. And if you deserve reparations for something that happened from 1933 to 1945, how much more do you deserve reparations from something that happened from 1619 to 1865? And then another 100 years of Jim Crow. This is stuff you can Google in kindergarten. And so I just want to make sure that's important, because Tuesday, Black San Francisco's urged city officials to accept the recommendations and work diligently to implement them the same way Marco Rubio is doing with Congress now. They're doing it now. We don't need another meeting. But some of us are so enamored with, man, what do you think the 49ers are going to beat the Giants on Thursday night? You think the Raiders are going to beat the Steelers? Who you think Oregon's going to beat? You think Oregon's going to beat Colorado? We're so focused on sports, and you have United States senators that are making sure that Jewish brethren get paid, and we're still having people that don't believe. You only going to hear that on Big C Sports. You gotta believe. It's in Congress as you're breathing. And that's important to me. So I wanna make sure that I give some praise to the California Reparations Task Force, but I also implore you to just talk to Senator Marco Rubio, because he's with Congress right now, making sure that those payments are made to descendants of Holocaust and their heirs. And we're still having meetings. Does anyone see the juxtaposition? We're still having meetings, and black American soldiers helped end Hitler's reign. And didn't get the GI Bill, and we're still having meetings. How disingenuous. We're having meetings and letting people speak for a minute when you have senators making sure that policies are paid. I want to give praise to California Reparations Task Force, but I'm also asking you to join what Rubio's doing. Senator Marco Rubio, they're not having any more task force. They're already dealing with the Congress. I'm going to tell you one more time in case you say, oh, Big C, there you go again. April 18, 2023. United States Senators Marco Rubio, Republican in Florida, Jackie Rosen, Democrat in Nevada, Kevin Cramer, Republican North Dakota, and Rick Scott, Republican of Florida. You know what they're doing? They're not shucking and jiving. They're not trying to see if you think that Oregon is going to beat Colorado. They're not trying to see if the 49ers are going to beat the New York Giants. They're making sure that Holocaust Insurance Accountability Act, the legislation would allow beneficiaries of Holocaust-era insurance policies to bring civil action in United States district courts against the insurers for the covered policies to recover proceeds due to or otherwise enforce any rights under the policy. And his first bill was introduced when then Senator Bill Nelson, Democrat of Florida, in 2011. Last I checked, that was 12 years ago, and we're still having reparations rallies. Something's not right, people. It's just not. Because we already know the roadmap. I want to give some praise before I get into some sports. California Reparations Task Force, yeah, give me some praise. But you got to follow what's already happening in Congress. We don't need to have any more people with 1 minute to speak. It's a matter of the law. Executive order. Executive order now! Executive order forever! And give that some praise. California Reparations Task Force, I want to thank the the people involved, the chair, Camila Moore, an attorney in reparative justice. She's brilliant. I want to thank Dr. Amos C. Brown, Vice Chair. Brilliant. The #1 Senator of the United States of America, California Senator Stephen Bradford. He's brilliant. Working with Marco Rubio. They're already talking to Congress. That's my recommendation. I'll be meeting with Senator Stephen Bradford in October. What, Big C? Why is the senator going to talk to you, Big C? Because I don't shuck and jive. And then Councilmember Monica Montgomery Steppe. Brilliant. Assembly Member Reginald Jones Sawyer. Brilliant. I love giving them all praise. Dr. Michelle Grills. Brilliant. Attorney Lisa Holder. Brilliant. Dr. Javon Scott Lewis, professor at California Berkeley. Brilliant. And Attorney Donald K. Tamaki. Brilliant. Part of the Reparations Task Force. Give them all some praise. And as I say one more time, oh my God, I just had another epiphany. I'm going to also reach out to Senator Marco Rubio's office. Give that some praise. I'm going to speak out and reach out to United States Senator Marco Rubio's office. In Florida, Jackie Rosen. In Nevada, Kevin Kramer. In North Dakota, and Rick Scott in Florida. Give that some praise because they're already making sure that reparations are paid now! While we shut it down and having meetings. Man, Big C, why are you so angry? I'm not angry. I'm not angry at all. I'm just enlightened. And I don't like dumb people, and I don't like people that shuck and jive. If you want to shuck and jive, just say you're a shucker and jiver. If you want to be deceitful, just say you're deceitful, but leave me alone. Everything, when I'm gone, God willing, I'll live to be 100 years. But when I'm gone, what I'm doing, you can Google it. You can say whatever you say about Big C Sports, but what you cannot say is the brother was lying to me. You can't say that he was shucking and jiving because I speak what I mean and I mean what I say. I'm not perfect. I'm taking a lot of crap from people don't even care about. Because sometimes people just want to poke holes in you. But that's okay. I'm bulletproof. I was shot when I was 8 years old. I'm still standing. I'm not proud of it, but I'm standing because God let me live, if that makes sense to you. And it's important that we get this stuff done. I love paying homage to the Associated Press. Janie Harr, she interviewed Big C Sports, asked me my thoughts on reparations. It was March 29th, 2023, and I said, how'd you get my number? She said, we have our ways. And I said, what made you call me? She said, because I heard you speak. And she said, you're different. You're not like the others. I didn't ask her what the others meant, but she did ask me my thoughts on reparations. Since when did the Associated Press, the biggest press you can get in the country, call a beautiful, intelligent black man who's a sports show and ask his thoughts on reparations? She could have called a lot more people that were propped up on media to just argue about who's bigger, stronger, and faster. But that's not going to help black Americans. Our descent is a child of slavery. It's not. Some of our rappers that I understand sing about self-destruction and genocide. That's not going to help reparations either. But mainstream media lets that succeed. When you talk about shucking and jiving and denigrating women and being just antithetical to peace, oh, they'll make you rich and famous then. They'll even put your star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It's a fact. But what I'm doing, no one can tell me that what I'm doing is not seminal. When the San Francisco newspaper says they're going to praise, what you hear praise from? I'm not saying they heard it from me, but you can't say they didn't hear it from me. But I'm just saying it's important. It's so important that it's in my spirit. God has given me a calling, and I want to do the best I can. So I'm going to do a quick praise of my family where I come from. Just like Senator Marco Rubio, there's other senators making sure that descendants of Holocaust and their heirs get paid. They're making sure they get paid! And we're still having meetings for descendants of child slavery. It could feel disingenuous, but it's not. You just got to stand next to the people that are already talking to Congress. Why is Congress having California task force still have meetings? Because they think all we want to do is watch sports and have meetings. It's an executive order. It's already signed by President Biden. They're going to come around soon asking for your vote. Remember that. If we're not treated the same way as our Jewish brethren, then what are we voting for? I don't want more meetings. This needs to be dealt with Congress now. Now! I want to give praise to CNN for advertising on BC Sports Podcast. Really do appreciate that. The Source with Caitlin Collins. Really do appreciate that. I want to say, in my family legacy, my beautiful mother's side, my great-grandmother called her Mama, beautiful, loving, intelligent woman. Never got reparations. Always making sure the love in the family, lots of food in the belly. My great-granddaddy called him Pop, from a military man and from a Negro League baseball player. Can fix anything, the real MacGyver. Planes, trains, and automobiles, he can fix it. Never got his reparations. My beautiful grandmother, Mud Deer, a beautiful person, a seer, an industrious woman, always making sure that life was good. She could look at a person oftentimes tell you about their past, present, and their future, and she still helps me to this day. And part of her is why I'm doing Big C Sports Podcast. I know it with my gut. Sometimes you feel like you're getting help from the universe or from the heavens, and it's true. I know there's a lot of things that happen in my life. I can't explain it. Still watches over me to this day. And then my beautiful grandfather Hezekiah, another one of a person, a seer, could oftentimes look at a person and tell you a lot about their past, their present, and their future. And then I can always depend on my mama, the most beautiful mama in the history of the universe. My grandparents never got their reparations. My mama started a Head Start program, a food program, and then coached an all-boys Little League baseball team for the championship of the universe. Give mama some praise. What did the San Francisco Chronicle say yesterday? They praised. They gave it some praise. You can't make this stuff up. At the same time, my mother, the best person I ever met in my life, always saying rise and shine. And I'll do that to the day that God won't let me rise anymore. I love my mama with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. And then on my father's side, my granddaddy called him Albert Curry, a pastor, 2 churches in Oakland. He built a 3rd church in Central California with his own hands. He also owned 2 gas stations in Oakland, one on Bancroft, the other on Foothill. But what I'm most proud of, he owned 40 acres of land. Like the Emancipation Proclamation, with Frederick Douglass was working with the President Abraham Lincoln to make sure that the Emancipation Proclamation was passed into law. Where was promised 40 acres and a mule. And never happened, because when he was assassinated, then President Andrew Johnson came along and vetoed the bill. And not one president since Lincoln's has did what Marco Rubio is doing right now as of 2023. Making sure that descendants of Holocaust survivors get their checks and their pensions. You can Google it. You heard it on Big C Sports. No one said, I don't want my taxpayer dollars going up. They always do that when it comes to black Americans. It's not about your taxpayer dollars. The United States government is doing it. Congress is doing it. As you breathe, take a breath. Breathe in, breathe out. Congress is already working on reparations for descendants of Holocaust era. And descendants. Think about that. Every breath you take. And we have black folks standing in line talking about how we're going to do this. Just follow the roadmap. And then my beautiful grandmother, Alberta Curry, working side by side with my granddaddy with the 2 churches in Oakland. And the gas stations in Oakland, also helping build the 3rd church in Central California. I was 8 years old, walking into her hallway one night, 10 o'clock at night, and I felt a hand on my forehead. And she said, "What are you doing, young man, going to get some more cookies?" And I said, "What are you doing up? It's 10 o'clock at night. You normally go to bed at 8:30. And she touched me on my forehead, and she said, "There's something about your voice. I love hearing you speak." But that was after I said, "Cookies are baby crap, Grandma. I'm going to get my reparations." But she touched me on my forehead and said, "I love hearing you speak." And now Big C Sports has all of a sudden, give it some praise. And now the San Francisco Chronicle is saying they praise reparations. It's like a church sermon. I grew up in the church. That's where I get it from. Where does the San Francisco Chronicle get it from? Where have they talked like that before? They need to give praise to Executive Order 13985 sent to me by 00. An advocate, intelligent, a performer, model, financier. That information came from 00. It was sent to me, the Executive Order 13985 on further advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government. The White House. That's President Biden. The first day, he said on his first day in office, he signed Executive Order 13985, January 20, 2021, advancing racial equity and support for underserved communities through the federal government, which charged the federal government with advancing equity for all, including communities that have long been underserved, and addressing systemic racism in our nation's policies and programs. And I just told you what Senator Marco Rubio is doing to make sure the sentence of Holocaust are being paid. He needs to be in charge of making sure the sentence of child slavery are being paid. And I give it praise. They got to all work together. So for anybody that says we don't believe in reparations, well, Congress does. It's just taking them longer when it comes to black folks. Look yourself in the mirror and ask why. Write your congressperson and ask why. Why are we being treated different? We should not be treated different. And then my beautiful father, former United States Air Force fighter pilot, he didn't get the GI Bill either. Make sure the airplanes can fly high so we can all stay safe at night. Always saying develop your mind to its highest extent. Love my dad with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. My beautiful brother Todd with that bombastic voice. Sound like thunder and lightning when you're time to speak. Always saying go forward. A voracious reader. Really do appreciate Todd. And then my beautiful daughter Daisy, the most beautiful daughter in the history of the universe. College student. 2 degrees with honors in 3.5 years from a major university. She was also a great soccer player. It was like Daisy for the kick, Daisy for the goal, goal. Left footed, and she's a right foot kicker after next. She set up the very first interview for Big C Sports Podcast. The very first interview. And from there we went on to become the first time in the history of the United States that NFL football started broadcasting live on the Wall Street Business Network. It never happened before until 2 black men in the crew came in and did our thing. Daisy, I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. You become a millionaire when reparations are passed because your daddy's championing that. You get that some praise. I know there's been a lot of junk going on in life, but you gotta look forward and realize that your daddy's championing something that get taking a lot of flack for. But your daddy is making sure you become wealthy. But people are going to change around you. Just be prepared for that. I love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. I'm always here for you. And then my beautiful, handsome son, Malcolm, the most handsome son in the history of the universe. College student and senior, very smart, erudite. I always tell you Isaiah 54:17, that no weapon formed against you will prosper. You can be anything you want to be. Malcolm helped me save trees. I used to always look at newspapers, tearing up newspapers, looking for stories on and stats on players and teams. One day Malcolm said, Dad, he said, why don't you just Google it? And I've been Googling ever since. Now on 28 podcast platforms, streaming on 4 TV apps. And then one day Malcolm said, Dad, you want to see Big C Sports on TV? I said, sure. He said, pick up the remote, aim it at the TV and say, play Big C Sports. You'll see your show come up. And that's before it was even on the air. And shortly after that, you can find us on Xfinity, Comcast TV, Apple TV, Roku TV, and Amazon Fire TV. And he spoke about it before it even happened. That's why I'm saying $6 billion. And then like I'm gonna love you with all my heart, mind, body, and soul. You can be anything you want to be. But your daddy's helping you become a millionaire because Marco Rubio is making sure that the descendants of Holocaust, they're getting paid. Congress is making sure. You know who's next? Descendants of child slavery. And your daddy's part of the one that makes the loudest noise in the universe. Either lead, follow, or get out of the way. I love you with all I got. And then Big C with all that wealth and knowledge over the years. Like my great-granddaddy coming out of that bar and said, you gotta believe, you gotta believe, you gotta believe. Say, let's get ready to rumble. I love to say welcome to the show. It's been nominated Big C Sports Podcast. I have no scripts. I have no three-way teleprompters. No producer in my ear. I do my show as well as I know how with my higher self. And I wanna touch on some things from Major League Baseball because I said I would. And I'm going to get into Big C's Major League Baseball. I'm going to go with the top 10. And again, baseball takes a back seat to football. And I kind of feel bad for it. It's like if you have a plate, if you know anyone that's really good at cooking salmon, baking salmon in the oven, and then you may have some rice with it. But if you have some asparagus, the asparagus tastes so good, you got to lick the plate. That's the kind of taste I'm talking about. But sometimes the rice may take a back seat to the asparagus. And then the asparagus is so good, you drink the juice out of the pan. You know, after the pan cools down, of course. But Major League Baseball, I want to give you my thoughts on Big C Sports, the top 10 in Major League Baseball, and everybody has their own thoughts about it, their own flavor. But I know at some point in time, baseball, it used to be America's pastime, but it's not anymore. Now that's football, and maybe even basketball. But when it comes to the playoffs, baseball is pretty phenomenal. Number 10 in Big C's Major League Baseball power rankings, I have the Minnesota Twins. Those good boys are playing good baseball. Number 9 in Big C's Major League Baseball power rankings, I have the Texas Rangers. Number 8. Give that some praise. My producer, sometimes he's still sucking on the asparagus. It tastes so good. Put the asparagus down just so we can get through the show. And then I got number 7 in Big C's Major League Power Rankings, the Toronto Blue Jays. Give them some praise. I got number 6 in Big C's Major League Baseball Power Rankings. I got the Milwaukee Brewers. Give them some praise. I got number 5 in Big C's Major League Baseball Power Rankings. I got the Houston Astros. Give them some praise. Dusty Baker's finest. Number 4 in Big C's Major League Baseball Power Rankings, I have the Tampa Bay Rays. Give them some praise. And then I got number 3 in Big C's Major League Baseball Power Rankings, the Baltimore Orioles. Give them some praise. And number 2 in Big C's Major League Baseball Power Rankings, I have the LA Dodgers. You think about teams that came so far: Tampa Bay Rays, Baltimore Orioles, LA Dodgers, and Atlanta Braves. Number 1 in Big C's baseball universe, the number 1 ranked baseball team in Big C's power rankings, the Atlanta Braves. You get all that rain down south, and they're trying to win a championship. But that's Big C's spots, and I'm sticking with it in the power rankings. I love bringing that to people in Major League Baseball. Everybody loves their own sport. Baseball's good, and I mean, there's a lot of stuff that's going on in the world of sports, and I'm still hoping that Major League Baseball would do what NFL did when I watched the New England Patriots and the Miami Dolphins at the end of the end zone. It said, "End racism." In Boston, of all places. Very segregated city. And I saw it from sea to shining sea in Los Angeles at SoFi Stadium, which is called Levi Stadium South, where the 49ers had about 50,000 fans in a 70,000-seat stadium. It is said, "End racism" at the end of the end zone. What it needs to do now is just say, reparations now, reparations forever. I'll tell you about Senator Marco Rubio and some other senators that are dealing with Congress as we breathe. You ever breathe? As we're breathing, they're making sure that the descendants of Holocaust, they're getting paid. And black Americans were still having meetings. That doesn't make any sense to me. You would have to make it. How can you make that make sense? When one group of people from 1619 to 1865 is still having conversations on how we can do it. We already saw Executive Order 13985 that was sent to me by O. President Biden, that's his first signature in office. And Rubio and some good old boys from Florida, North Dakota are making sure that our other brethren are getting paid. They're not watching baseball. They're not watching football. They're not concerned about if Deion Sanders is going to get a chance to coach in the NFL. They're not concerned about who's going to hit more home runs this year or who's going to throw more touchdown passes. They're doing what should be happening for us, descendants of child of slavery. It's important. And it's going to stimulate the economy. Who doesn't want to stimulate the economy? Give stimulating the economy some praise. And don't let the mainstream media make it about black and white. I just told you what Senator Marco Rubio and his colleagues are doing. As we speak, he had a press release April 18th, 2023. Talked about countless Holocaust survivors and their descendants have not been able to recover their unpaid pre-Holocaust insurance policies. What about the insurance policies for descendants of child slavery? The Emancipation Proclamation! Where's our 40 acres and a mule? Give me 40 acres now, you'd be a multimillionaire. We didn't get the Homestead Act. Over 276 million acres of land given away to white people and even white Europeans. And for people that say that happened a long time ago, Curry, I just told you, April 18th, 2023. Google it. It was a press release. United States Senators Marco Rubio, Republican, Florida, Jackie Rosen, Democrat, Nevada, Kevin Cramer, Republican, North Dakota, and Rick Scott, Republican, Florida. They reintroduced the Holocaust Insurance Accountability Act, while Black Americans are still having reparations task force meetings. Why is Congress dealing with one group and not the other? Really, why? Because most of our brethren, when you put a microphone in front of their face, you can hear it every day. Oh, I can't believe, you must be out your mind. You think this guy's bigger and faster than that guy? You think really Deion Sanders is going to create more jobs for black coaches? And they're not even talking about what a senator is having conversation with the Congress about. You know who is? Big C Sports. That's why I say give Big C Sports a praise. Because what I'm doing is going to benefit millions of black Americans. Oh, there you go again, Big C. Exactly. What if every person that's shucking and jogging about how big, strong, and fast an athlete is, what if they talked about the same things I just told you on Big C Sports? I'm not making this stuff up. I didn't write this article. I'm not a United States Senator. And I'm going to contact United States Senator Marco Rubio, his office, a Republican in Florida, and Jackie Rosen, Democrat, Nevada, and Kevin Cramer, Republican, North Dakota, and Rick Scott, Republican, Florida. I'm already having a meeting in October with the California Senator Stephen Bradford on the California Reparations Task Force. I'm going to do what I can to get these senators to talk. And as we give praise to our Holocaust survivor brethren, we're going to do the same thing for the descendants of child slavery. And if it's up to me to champion it, you either lead, follow, or get out of the way. I'm a leader. I may not always do it right, but I do the best I can. I'm not someone that sits back afraid just criticizing some people. There's some people that want to just criticize. They criticize everything. Why's it got to be so hot? Why's it got to be so cold? Why you got to talk so loud? Why you got to drive so fast? Why you got to talk so fast? Just criticizing and criticizing and criticizing. Ask them what have they done on their program. Oh, they don't have a program yet. But they just want to sit back and criticize. And at least Big C Sports, I love sports too. But what other sports show or even news person or the clergy is asking our senators to talk together and make sure that we have liberty and justice for all? I want to make sure we do that. It can't be the wrong thing. It's not like driving the wrong way on the highway. It's not like driving the wrong way on the highway. It may feel like it at times, but it's not like driving the wrong way on the highway. Why is Big C Sports driving the right way and other media driving the wrong way? And then some of our black brethren, they're afraid to talk about reparations. I just told you. United States Senator Marco Rubio, he's talking about it. Republican in Florida, Jackie Rosen, Democrat in Nevada, he's talking about it. Kevin Cramer, Republican in North Dakota, he's talking about it. And Rick Scott, Republican in Florida, he's talking about it. You see, I'm not crazy after all. Give not being crazy after all some praise. Because sometimes people are so afraid until they see a white person doing it. Now, there you go. They don't believe it when a black man's screaming. But when a white man does it, they say, well, maybe Big C not so crazy after all. And what if we could get some more intelligent people to get this done? It's the right thing to do. You know it, I know it, we all know it, and God knows it. And that to me is more important than who's going to score the most touchdowns in the NFL, or who's going to win the Super Bowl, or who's going to win an NBA championship or World Series championship. It don't matter what color you are. You gotta say, you may or may not like what I say, but you can't dispute that I'm telling you the truth. The truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Well, as I always tell you, if you're gonna drink, don't drive. If you're gonna drive, don't drink. Because mothers against drunk drivers are mad, and fathers against drunk drivers are mad. It's one of the easiest things not to do. You can call Uber, you can call Lyft, you can walk it off, you can sleep it off. But don't drink and drive, and don't let someone you love drink and get behind the wheel of a car. The life you save may be your own or someone that you love. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Well, you know what time it is. Back in the day, There's a man known by the name of Drew Boudini Brown. He was known as Muhammad Ali's right-hand man. He would always tell Ali, he said, Big C, you float like a butterfly and you sting like a bee. Rumble, young man, rumble. He said, with all you got to use, how can you lose? I say, I'm so pretty. Like Ali said, I can't possibly be beat because all these Big C burgers make me light on my feet. That's why I float like a butterfly and I sting like a bee. And my mother always says, there's never ever an excuse. Listen up, Congress, for racism or domestic violence. No man, woman, or child should ever have to go through that garbage on their own. If you know anybody going through that garbage, just pick up the phone and call 911. Because things change when the police show up, and no man, woman, or child should ever have to deal with that crap on their own. That's my story, and I'm sticking with it. Well, now you know what time it is. It's time to be honor America's 16th president, President Abraham Lincoln. When he did the Emancipation Proclamation with the help of Frederick Douglass, he said, reparations now, reparations forever. Senator Marco Rubio understands what he meant. And also, Jackie Rosen, Kevin Kramer, and Rick Scott, they understood. Give them some praise. Stephen Bradford understands too. He said, reparations now, reparations forever. Say it one more time like your team just won the game. And now do it for descendants of chattel slavery too. Because we all deserve liberty and justice for all. Reparations now! Reparations forever! I thank you. I appreciate you. And I hope that you have a super fantastic day.